Today is Wednesday, February 26, 2014. Happy Hump Day. Listen, the subject matter is a matter that deals with some very controversial topic. However, it needs to be discussed as it involves relationships, marriage, as well as intimacy, sex. If you're under the age of 18, I suggest that you stop and move forward or request permission from your parents or adult over 18 to continue viewing. This is, again, a matter that would be a subject matter that is not for anyone under the age of 18. We want to first discuss that relationships are very tricky in many ways. Relationship is a part of society, whether you want to believe it or not. It doesn't have to tie into marriage. Family also is included. Business relationships, relationships with peers, relationship with school friends or schoolmates, and so forth. You cannot build any relationship and hope that it would succeed without trust. Everything that we exist within is based and is supported by emotions. How one reacts is how to any situation and or emotion that comes from the action dictates that person's moods, as well as that person's ability to coexist and or to relatively get through their day and or life moving forward. Firstly, this issue of marriages themselves are based on trust. You'll find that the generation, the 50s, the 40s, the 60s, even the 70s to a certain degree, where couples have remained together, we're celebrating anniversaries over 50, 60 years, which is incredible, and should be commended for their ability to have gone through so much on both parts, because again, to be together with someone, one person for that long really ensures that their communication would have been tested, but they went through the humps and realized the importance of their relationship to each other. Every aspect of what I spoke of earlier was tested, and communication played an important role in their relationship, as well as understanding their duty, essentially, to each other and to their children and so forth, family. And it tied into religion as well as cultural and so forth. Now, if you think of it, once a person is committed to another and in a relationship, it really is no one else's business but the couple that's involved. Marriage, as again, is questioned. We're still trying to round out and get an understanding of what marriage is, because people are questioning if men can marry another man, or women could marry another woman. Again, these are things to be answered in time. However, in speaking, what I would like to say is that it concerns me that there are men that are fearful of other men who are involved with other men and are considering themselves heterosexuals, and makes me wonder, why are they afraid, especially if they're not involved or have no reasoning to be involved, where they should just move on about their ways and their business, leaving those in their such situations to exist within that reasoning or whatever that situation is. The intimacy, you will find that most of these men that really are, and I hate the word homophobe, because again, it's a word that's very critical of someone, but people who are concerned where they have to react with violence and using God and the Bible as reference to act upon another is ignorance in itself. If we stop for a second to think, one action of sin where one would be able to go out and kill or actually act on another because of their beliefs or values is wrong. Again, if they have no intentions to harm anyone, they're just trying to work on their emotions and to build upon their emotions. Now, men who are intimate with women and have anal intercourse with women could be considered gay as well, because the rectum is the same with a man as it is with a woman. And for a man to challenge and to question another for their desire in that aspect is not only concerning, but it's something that they themselves should sit down and review, because most men have fantasized of that with women and believe that this is cool and or okay to warrant no argument or concerns themselves. Now, moving forward, relationships themselves, as I said, are very tricky. It involves a lot of work, and it's something that a commitment that both parties, or whoever is involved, is prepared to take, as it is very challenging. Now, if you think that a person who has to commit a desire, we all have desires, and really these desires, if there's no intention to harm, are something that a person should be left to try to achieve. And desires exist within marriages. Now, there are so many marriages and relationships where during intimacy, one party and or both at some point would have fantasized about somebody else, a co-worker, someone they've seen on TV, someone they've seen in magazines, and so forth, to helping themselves enjoy their experience. Now, if such is the case, and is something that would save the relationship, given the fact that their marriage is a contract, it is a contract between those involved, should have understanding and the communication. There are many steps involved in such a relationship, in all relationships. And it was to ensure and continue trust, to maintaining the strength and the bond of that relationship. So it would make sense that both or all involved in a relationship would seek the services of a professional if it is a matter of intimacy, so that before the person goes out and gets involved in an adulterous relationship or commits adultery, which is in violation of their marriage and is a sin, they should sit down with the other party or parties and explain their desire and needs, and from there come to some understanding, because again they have to negotiate to order to supporting each other if they do love each other. And something that the new laws in this country with regards to, and I hate this word again because it really puts down a lot of people, prostitution, which has been around since the dawn of time, and is something that a lot of people are being labeled for, because again they give it away so freely as society has become so slack, and with it we're finding people easily ending their relationships, committing adultery out of this desire, and willing to hide it to further worsen the impact once discovered. So by communicating between each other of their needs and desires, and this country understanding that there's a duty by society following marriage to ensuring that a marriage stays complete and that they continue to be supported, as it's not just a financial reasoning that are ending marriages. A lot of it is adultery, and adultery need and desires for temptation exists in the workplace and throughout society, given the fact now that both couples, both people involved in a relationship, or those involved in a relationship, have to leave their home to go out into society, to work and to function. And temptation will at some point find its way, especially if there's no communication and their relationship that they're in begin to erode. So essentially, they should reword that word from prostitution and to regulating this industry for the benefit of those who are what we call therapists, people who are willing to provide services to these couples. And again, something that they could create a contract. I believe the terminology that should be used, that has been used throughout history, is courtesans. So that way these people could provide these services and be able to work from home safely, and to be able to, through regulation, be able to see a medical professional regularly to be checked up and to be confirmed to be able to hold their license, which is something that I'm sure people are willing to be involved with and are willing to contribute to, and something that could assure to revenue, an additional revenue stream for whichever aspect of government, municipal, provincial, or federal, willing to take up such, I guess, a challenge. So, in essence, I end this by stating clearly that relationships couples that are in relationships, especially with children, should not put their problems and should consider their children first before going into an adulterous relationship, and by sitting down and communicating with each other. And again, children should not know adult business. This is just something that adults should really recognize, to understanding that the kids come first. They're your future. And it's something that we as a society should really be educated with before even getting committed or getting involved with any sort of long-term commitment or relationship moving forward. So again, I end this as something that for people to consider, to think, and to delve into. My comments were not meant to upset and or to frustrate or insult anyone. However, they were done to purposely trying to get an understanding of these situations, especially for couples, and to further helping the government regulate this industry in the benefit and for the benefit of those who are employees or specialists in this area of pleasure. Again, because they are therapists, and again, one could consider this a medical aspect or even a medical profession where they should be trained or go through some concept of training and be licensed to operate, and to ensuring that couples who approach them are able to sign their contract and be able to move forward, so that way they're not tempted to go off and violate their marriage contract, which his vows given to them that they've accepted and have been witnessed. Therefore, something to further think about. So I end this. Give praise, give thanks for the future.